The forge has gone quiet, the bellows blow no more. The forge has gone quiet, the smiths have gone home. Only fading embers remain, and my hearth grows cold. One kiss from you to rekindle it all.
Okay, welcome back to Queen of Embers. I'm your Game Master, Daniel Fox. This is actually just kind of a general test. If you wouldn't mind, Tim, would you close the lid of the laptop just a touch?
Yeah, of course.
Just a touch, so we're not watching it while we do our recording here. And this is fine that we're just getting... Perfect. So we've got a new camera at the table called a Meeting Owl, and we showed some footage last week of three of us talking, that's right. And what I want to do is actually record kind of a short kind of overview of what's happened in second season so far. Of the third chapter of Queen of Embers. And I figured we can all participate because we got everybody here on the table. There's plenty of people to be involved. So let's just jump right in. So, I'm going to turn the camera to just focus wherever it wants to go. It's going to go, basically it's going to go anywhere at this point. I have no idea where it's focused on. I'm pretty sure it's focused on me because I'm talking, but let's talk about where we started in chapter 3. So after the suicide of Professor Hausdorff, what happened from there?
I'm having trouble remembering if we were attacked by the Saltpeterman before or after that.
I think it was after, because I think after that you guys went to the tower for
we talked to Lieutenant Reich.
Yeah, we did talk to Lieutenant Reich, and then we vaguely answered his questions.
And met with her contact. Oh, basically met with her contact, then met with Reich, right?
Hexenstern?
Yeah, because Hexenstern started packing everything up.
By the way, your Hexenstern remark with the thunder ended up as one of the outtakes from episode 24.
Nice.
We're here to see Hexenstern. And I didn't even plan it. It just happened that way.
Yeah, that should be correct anyway. Yeah, because remember Hexenstern wanted to categorize and box everything up. But yeah, then we met with Reich, and everybody lied besides you.
Well, yeah.
We withheld the truth.
Yeah,
all right.
I didn't lie.
Actually, I think that was a different meeting, but because I think on that meeting, if I remember right, I actually said to people, "Okay, let's only tell what we have to tell."
Yeah, we withheld.
Yeah.
Okay.
We had a selective memory.
Yeah. There was definitely another meeting where everyone lied, and Taryn was like, "Nah." Not lying. But I can't remember if it was that one or not. It's been a long time. So after that, we decided to see if we could meet up. Actually, no, someone came to us.
Hexenstern came to us, talked about what he had found at the academy there, the school, and then talked about how he thought in a week he could get us an audience with the Queen.
Yeah.
The Baroness.
Yeah. So,
the Baroness.
right.
Not a queen yet.
Well,
She isn't my eyes.
yes. While we were waiting on that, someone sought out a hero.
What happened there, Tim?
Well, Tina Turner was looking for Ike. Well, actually, no. So there was an ambassador from Gothmorin, right?
Yeah.
I cannot remember her name because I don't have the cards in front of me.
Nadia Weiss.
Nadia Weiss.
Nadia Weiss. Thank you. Nadia Weiss. And she was looking for... She wanted to reward us, and really it came down to basically being me. Reward us for saving the orphans, because I guess most of the orphans were Gothric.
Mm-hmm.
None
That's
of us,
right.
None of us knew. I mean, we didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the orphans that got saved were Gothric,
You received quite the reward.
So yes, everyone else did too. She had us to her
Whoa.
place where there was a meal. Of course, the boss didn't go because he had to take off his sword, so he acted like a child and went back.
That he did. He was being very childish about it.
He went back
Yeah.
and did not have the meal with us. But
Right.
it was a fancy meal, and we
Harper
also
got
got a lot of information because you got a clue that night, didn't you?
Yep.
What was the clue that you got?
Oh.
The Vipers, about the Vipers and James Tallow on Slumrow.
What about it?
The Vipers have contact with a candle maker named James Tallow that was residing on Slumrow.
That's right.
Right. And that's the Vipers are the ones that we've been hunting for.
Yep.
Because they're the ones that stole the children.
That's right. That's right.
And Harper got really drunk and chased a chicken through the
Yeah, I
party.
did.
I
Drunk as a skunk.
think you. That's right. And then the following night,
Yes.
what happened, Nick?
The following night, we went. Banneker and Warren got together, and they decided to investigate the candle maker shop, and ended up breaking the window open and looking around and seeing what was going on. And there was a great ruckus upstairs because there was a candle wax creature in the bathtub.
And I don't think, Walter, you weren't here for that.
Yes,
You-
I was here at the end of that. I
Okay.
showed up for the aftermath of the candle bathtub discovery.
Yes, the creature didn't really respond to any damage or wrestling of any sort, so Warren fled off into the night and was seen many, many hours later.
I completely lost him, which is the reason that we weren't there to help when Mike got drug out of the inn by somebody else.
So, Harper, what happened from your perspective at the end?
So, I stumble in around like noonish, I think it was, and just like, bed, because I was incapacitated, I was wrecked. So I was just like, I'm going straight to bed. You guys can do whatever you want. I'm just going to bed. So then, next thing I know, I'm being thrown onto a horse. I have a bag over my head. My hands are tied, and I have no idea what's going on. But apparently I've been kidnapped.
Mm-hmm. So at that point, from the perspective of Elisa, what happened on that stormy night?
So Terwin and Elisa were coming back to the inn, and they got attacked by a bunch of saltpetermen, the ones that had kidnapped Harper.
Fireman says.
Yeah, and so one of them died when he got trampled by the horse when Harper managed to take
right.
control of Matthew again.
Mm-hmm.
And Elisa got trampled and broke her elbow in the process.
Your elbow got shot off almost.
No, it was. You're right. I did get it shot off. I got knocked over, and then I got my elbow broken by a shot.
That's right.
And then Terwin was swinging at him, and Elisa managed to grab a gun from one of them, and then Terwin took off after the last one that was still alive, brought him back, and then Elisa shot him in the back of the head.
Yeah, he wanted him for questioning, but he understands
That
what
was
it's like to be hot-blooded and,
Hot-blooded!
Yeah.
Chicken and sea!
That was my answers. So,
And one of the guns did blow up in one of their hands and set them on fire.
That's right, it was a critical failure.
so
It was a critical failure, and it was a volatile weapon, just boom!
yeah, it
and he-
blew one of them up.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
So then we went to go back into the cloakroom with Banneker, who showed up randomly, and he didn't know where anybody was. But
I was trying to find him.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Divide and conquer was his strategy, not mine.
and it gets a little fuzzy. But it seems like Harper went to the orphanage to try to recover a bit, and Elisa, Terwin, and Banneker got locked out of the cloakroom because we were waiting on Warren, and they wouldn't open the door back up
Yep,
for us.
that's right.
What a wild night that was.
It
Well, that was all in one
Because
night.
it went over 3 sessions. It was
Yeah.
one night and 3 sessions.
It did, and so
One night in China, or one night in Durindal. But without the weird sex stuff. Yeah.
well, you know, like that we know of, because honestly, everything got mixed up because we don't know what truly happened and what didn't, because Warren's perspective kind of took over at some point.
Yeah, so what Warren, so during all of this, like, clearly, like, your character was addled by the Leviathan's eye, or has been captured by it in a sense since the night of Penumbra. Like, what happened that night? Because it all seemed to come to a crescendo for you at that point in time.
Warren was kind of drifting in and out of reality. He didn't really know what to believe, whether it was all in his head, what part of the city he roamed to. It kind of blacked out after a while. Actually, just kind of, who knows where it went.
Wherever
It could be that the other entity within him took over and drove for a while, but didn't really have much memory of it.
No means no, man.
That's right.
You got raped by a candle.
So at this
be.
point,
Roofied and raped by a candle.
so
Okay,
this point is when you all kind of found that at this point it's like getting really dangerous for the Dufresne to be in Durandal.
Yeah.
It's getting really dangerous because now the saltpeter men are getting so brave that they're outwardly trying to kill you in the streets, and as has been explained to you by Lieutenant Wright, these things don't happen in Durandal. It's not like Old York where murder is seemingly more common than here. So what happens from there?
Reich asks us to go lay low, basically.
And so we lay low in, what's the name of that?
In the only way that we know
slums.
how.
Yeah, we lay
went in
low
slums.
in Dire Straits.
Dire Straits.
is the name of the bar.
Dire Straits Hotel.
Run by Robin Grimby.
Yeah.
Solomon Grundy? But
Robin
Solomon Grimby,
Who's
born on the
become- who's become a really good friend of mine.
A
He's
Mindy is a
one of
fantasy
his.
name for Monday. Sorry, go ahead. So you decide to lay low at Dire Straits and Slum Row. So what unfolds from there?
Well, we decide to, figure out what's going on with what Warren found out.
To verify the stories.
Yeah. Because he was even not 100% sure himself, but we went to go figure it out, and
Mr. Talos.
yeah, so we went and checked out Mr. Talos. And we went upstairs, and well, there was no candle monster.
There was a crazy
Dead
ritual
body?
bathtub
Yep.
thing with a dead body in
with
it.
the dead body. Yep.
Yeah.
So
It looked like apparently Mr. Tal had been rendering dead bodies fat into candle wax.
yep. And those are the best candles.
Yes. Human candles.
Unfortunately, they're illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Frowned upon.
Frowned upon. Hue and tallow candles, not cool in Durandal.
No.
By the way, patrons may be able to find human fat candles for their next kind of dev giveaway. I did holy and unholy water this today or yesterday. Sorry, go on. Not to distract. So you all go in there and he tells you a sob story.
Well, but then he turns into like this crazy xenophobe who's all like, "Yeah, but all these foreigners are here and there's nothing to do with them, so I'm making a use of them."
That's
right,
right.
he's
He
the good
flips
guy.
really quick.
Yes, he begins to tell the story about how essentially he was literally looking for indigents off the street that, quote, nobody would miss and rendering them into candles made of fat.
Because they were useful then.
That's right.
But he
Oh,
wasn't
yeah,
getting
he
them
made his
himself, though.
He made his case so much
Yeah,
worse.
he was
Yeah.
not getting the corpses himself. Who was getting the corpses for him?
Yeah.
The Vipers.
The fair semi.
The Vipers.
Oh,
the Pharisee.
Pharisee were actually bringing him the corpse.
That's right.
Yeah,
somebody
remember your
called
boy
in.
showed up.
Somebody called in. They showed up. Or you called it a favor.
It
It
did.
was a Wolstedian standoff, as they say.
I laid one out and then was all like, "Oh, holy shit! I actually know who those people are."
So what happened from Alistair's? Sorry, my apology. Whoa, what's wrong with me? Banneker's perspective.
Well, he kept saying, "Hey, my gang's coming. The people that are going to bring this," and we all kept thinking it was the Vipers. And the boss has kind of got a grudge against the Vipers, well-known one that everybody, Isn't it you that has the vendetta against?
No.
I think it was
Oh, okay.
Alistair that had it.
Well, somebody
Dying.
wants to kill the leader of the Vipers. I can't remember who that is. I thought, and so we we were all set, ready to kind of, go down, bring clubs or whatever it's called. So, so they knock. I run to the door. I knock one of them out, and I see it's the Ferrisimi that I actually worked with in the past. So,
Who are the Ferrisimi led by in the city? Do you
that
remember?
is Sylvia Corvino.
That's right.
So, and that's one of my contacts from previous lives.
Mm-hmm.
So, I used to fence goods with her. So, long story short here, we have a conversation. I say, take the money and go. Tell Sylvia Bannister says, hey.
Yeah.
And they walk away.
That's right.
But they wanted us to do
Down
something.
the house.
They wanted us to burn down the house.
Mm-hmm.
Or make sure he was dead.
And one of them hit on Elisa. I did write that down.
Did he? Oh, yeah, at the back door. Oh, hey, now that's cool.
He was slimy as a snake, Francisco. That's right.
So we burned down.
There was
We
an
didn't-
accident,
The
alright?
candle fell.
It wasn't arson. It was
I
an
seem to
accident.
remember. I seem to remember it was wasn't it Alistair who knocked the candle over?
I don't even...
No, it wasn't me.
I think
That's
you,
did do
It's
that.
UK.
Yeah, that's me.
I think you knocked over the
I was
shelving
knocking
just to
candles off.
intimidate him.
That was me and
yeah.
Alistair were knocking candles off the shelf and then pushing... Because we were
Right.
using intimidation to
I
get
thought
him
it
to
was
speak.
Harper that
Yeah. So long story short,
One of us did.
that
One of
all
us did.
wraps up. And what happens after that?
We have to lay low even in the slums because we burned down.
When you got a hot head for a leader, it's not
Portion of
not
the
hard
city.
to not hard to.
He has a fiery
make enemies,
temperament,
yeah.
alright?
Fiery.
But then
Ooh.
Hexenstern comes to meet us and says, "Hey, you guys have a meeting tomorrow, basically, with the Queen. So we have a
Baroness.
day, or the Baroness, sorry.
Haha, got you all.
To be a queen, perhaps.
to be a queen.
We'll
Yeah.
get to
So
that.
the Baroness, we have a day to get ourselves ready. So everybody buys goods and pretties themselves up, and then we can see the Baroness, and somebody bends the knee and professes his love. And,
So when you all walk in, what do you see?
Madness. Like, we see all sorts of crazy things going on, but we also see this huge set of mirrors, like, suspended everywhere. Is that what you were getting at?
Maybe.
Artist with the last name is Selfie.
Yeah, she was taking the selfie.
And there's all these mirrors, like, behind her that, like, the artist is, like, moving pulleys in order to get him in the right area to capture the sun just perfect on her, and then he can paint her perfectly with all those mirrors. Yeah.
but we noticed that she's old.
She's aged. I mean, she's not old. She's just well ripened.
Okay,
She's like a fine wine.
Exactly.
She's of an age.
I'm the only one who succeeded my test, and I noticed she's old as shit in a ton of makeup.
That's true.
That is exactly what was the
Because if you
comment.
track the age of Lyndon Genevieve at this point, he's in his 50s.
Right.
So she's probably in her 50s too. So yeah, you see that, and what does she command?
She commands that we take her barrister to past Hastings. Where's the end? Kale
Tyrion?
Kale Tyrion, in order to basically negotiate a deal of like
An alliance.
an alliance and declare herself Queen of Durendal. And she wants it to be like a city-state, free from Aglador.
Which we had already heard from Hexenstern that was kind of her plan, that she wanted to, and because Warren had been spreading the rumor, even though we didn't know it was true. Well,
So yeah, so in the
Sure.
throne room, it basically kind of confirms the rumors that Hexenstern had heard,
yeah.
and she makes the command of you. So what happens from there?
Mike, take over.
So I got the look. All right, the look. All right.
Look, she's got look. She got the look.
She
got the look. She got the
So Harper falls hard. He falls real hard. Falls so hard he falls on his knees and just professes that we will give our lives to make this thing happen. That we are his, or we are hers, I can't exactly remember everything I said, but basically I just gave her the farm, right? And everyone was very upset.
Harper got a disorder out of that.
I did get a disorder out of that. I got the
Or a drawback, rather.
yeah, I got the drawback. I gotta pull that up again. It was so good. I even got a printout. The Lost Heart. When suffering from stress, fear, or terror, those affected with this disorder must reduce all damage they do by their fellowship bonus for either 1 or 2 or 3 hours, depending on the severity of their madness. And then, additionally, at any time, those affected by the Lost Heart may flip the result to succeed at tests to dodge or parry. Each time they take advantage of this benefit, they gain 3 corruption.
You are so smitten by your Queen of Durindal that
I will do anything to stay alive for her.
that's right.
And see that her will is done.
Yeah, you'll even make decisions for other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this all unfolds, and it gives you an out to leave the city. So you reconvene. There's some back and forth, but what happens from there?
We're going tomorrow morning, bright and early.
Yep.
So who do you meet? What happens outside of Westgate?
Well, there's a little bit that happens before Westgate. We make a
Little
very
horse around.
miserable attempt to try and get back to Steeds Hill and
Yeah.
see if we can
Oh, jeez.
take information back like, yeah, she's going to succeed. What do you want us to do? And through, some storms,
And a horse.
having to leave earlier than planned, and a horse getting a broken leg.
Yeah, it was a critical failure
Yes,
on that
yes.
ride test.
Yep.
Just it's like
Can't re-roll that one.
we just weren't meant to
Re-roll
go.
it.
So
I would normally because I have that
the
special trait.
yeah, the dice gods were just not wanting us to
They-
make
they
it.
said
So
no.
crit fail. I think there was another one somewhere else.
Maybe.
But so we showed up the next morning and
The hill test by him.
Yeah. No one hell I'm taking
If you
my
would
time
take
in a
your
storm.
damn time.
failed by 10%.
Not taking my time in a damn storm.
So
Hell no.
unfortunately, the storm horse had to remain behind, and
Yep.
you had to leave the next day. So who do you meet up with at Westgate?
We
Well,
meet
before I use my contact to actually send a letter.
That's right.
yeah.
I pay an exorbitant amount,
You pay like
but it's
5
like one of
crowns.
those things where it's like, hey, we've been staying here. This is on the cuff, basically.
Yeah, it was it was
Deliver it
It was,
and here's
it was
some
through
money.
Grimby
Right.
at the place in Slum Row.
Right. Deliver it and here's your cut, basically,
That's
from
right.
the work we did while we were in Slum Row.
That's right. So from there, what happens?
We meet up with Wolfgang. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wolfgang
Can't forget his name.
and a couple of other people there. There's
Sammy, Hiram.
I'm trying to think of the
Sammy Newhouse?
Sammy, and then Vervigula.
yeah. They're Krung Bigley, and we also meet up with Hexenstern because someone was brilliant enough to ruin the contract that
Try to buy us more
Hexenstern-
time.
Yeah, the Hexenstern had made in order to try and buy us more time, but all we did was just make an old man stay up through the night. But he showed up, got us some horses, we did a little bit of shopping, and then we took off.
That's right. So what do you mean you took off?
Well, this massive ship on land showed up. It had this carriage that was holding it, massive one, driven by 200 oxen.
Yeah, it was like 40 oxen.
Yeah, and
What's it called?
it's called the Madeline.
Uh-huh. What's notable about it?
It was a Zeppelin.
Yeah, it was the airship that crashed into that foundry that created the soup-stained prophet.
That's right. Which actually led to a couple of stowaways you found on the ship. One of which Walter will be playing now.
Yeah.
We were retiring Alistair in our normal game, Crew Members games, and we'll get to that when we actually start the adventure. So you are in this massive land ship that's being taken as a gift to so that the Baroness, or she styles herself the Queen Durandal, can establish this alliance.
Yeah.
This important alliance with the banister, the barrister. See.
Dang,
So what's the barrister's name?
Hold on.
Rosalia.
Rosalia Manfield. Manfield.
What's notable about her?
She's a woman. And that her entire
She's
career
a
has been paid for by the Baroness.
Yeah, and she was a burger.
That's right.
Yeah.
In fact, I don't know if it's on the character the thing or not, but she's actually the first female barrister ever. Ever.
I don't think I put that down.
Nope.
Yeah.
No. That
You
needs
could
to be
write
added.
that down, you know.
So
Just write
you
that
all
down.
begin to head west, but there's something else you're missing there. You head west, but
There was a
There's a
diversionary
diversion.
group.
that's right,
Captain
led by
Tarandel.
Commander Tannenfelder.
Commander Tannenfeld.
So you would be going different ways to get to Kael Tyrion.
Which is
You
maybe the silliest plan ever conceived, but let's just leave that alone.
so you get to Hastings, and what happens?
Well, we haven't heard too much from Walter. You want to... were you here for when we get to Hastings?
Yeah, I was here for that whole part. So, yeah, from Alistair's perspective, it was a really rough road on the way to Hastings. We were able to secure at least like some guidance, or we would have easily lost our way.
That's right.
A couple of distractions along the road, some echoes of antiquities of battles past, and things like that. A recognition that ghosts are everywhere, to say the least. Old battlefields and lost relics. Hastings is a place for respite, but it does not really work out so well. It is a place that is beset by men that are really close to dogs and dogs that are actually dogs. As it turns out, they are sort of overrun by these tribal groups of hounds. Anybody help me? What's the name of these?
Dog warriors.
Folk?
The folk
Yeah.
is the mountain folk. But,
Yes.
But they're calling themselves the dog warriors.
So, the intent is the hope that we can spook them with the technology of the Madeline, specifically since it has like
Giant gun on it.
a gunpowder weapon on it.
The Ribblequin.
Yes. And it works, but perhaps it works so well that the next night they assess that to be like a threat and something that they need to go to war with. The Madeline's progress is impeded by battle and the decimation of the oxen core and a lot of wounds and repairs that need to be happened, so the company is stuck in Hastings far longer than they would care to, and it's only the work of like hirelings and midnight oil that get us out of there at any reasonable time. But as is usual with this company of scoundrels, blood is shed.
So all that kind of occurs in Hastings, and eventually you get your letter. You get the letter from the Dufresne, and who has it? Does anyone recall who
The local
Yeah.
lore knight. who's
Father,
also-
brother, Proctor, Roland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who is not only the local magistrate, but also the local priest.
Yeah.
So he's wearing multiple hats. No way, he's a lore knight.
He's a parishioner. But yes,
Yeah.
guess what? In a lore knight who wears many hats and is hiding many secrets, and
Yeah, so he begins to try and hold that over us, and it just doesn't work for Terwin. Terwin actually just loses his shit completely and starts yelling at him, because he read the letter, and he was kind of trying to blackmail us, and Lynn wasn't having any of it. Not Lynn, Terwin. Terwin wasn't having any of it. So that went over better than it could have, but still didn't go over well. And eventually we came to an agreement that we would share information. I can't remember the details of that information we would share, though.
he wanted to know basically how the exchange of ideas happened in Keltirian. Was there an acceptance of the Baroness's whim or warrant to succeed? I call it a whim. It's probably in a warrant form.
Right, because he had also given us information about a group in Durindal that was potentially like a cabal. We don't know whether it's kind of for the Baroness or against, but...
What do you say about that? I'm sorry.
Something of 12.
There was kind of a cabal in Durindal that...
The guiding hand.
The guiding hand.
Led by Bruno Lehman, possibly Gelman and Zox as members as well. Eustace Adelard is the mouthpiece.
They're movers and shakers of Durindal.
And we know who Eustace is because he's now the mouthpiece for the suit stand proper.
Oh, it's drywall dust. He's like, where's the powdered sugar on
That's right. So, all that goes down, and you finally strike out after warding away the dog warriors in a vicious battle where things were set ablaze. The Madeline is rendered to, you fired your third shot. If you wouldn't mind, Kay, please put 3 hatch marks at the top right.
I believe we shot twice. Once as a warning, once to blow up a barn.
And then once the following night. Or no, you're right, twice.
Just the twice.
So put Madeline at the top right.
He was up there for a while, but...
And then put 2 hatch marks. Perfect, that's all. Awesome, thank you. That's right. So you finally strike out. And that's when you make a critical decision. Because remember, Catan felt that was taking...
There's 3 ways we can go.
Yeah.
What are the 3 ways you can go?
The
Maw of Madness.
the Maw, and then we could go north into enemy territory, or we could try and skirt all that and go as fast as possible through the most dangerous territory,
The Blackfire Pass.
the Blackfire Pass.
A new car! Just kidding.
Yeah, and what do you think? What do you think Terran chose?
The
The Blackfire Pass!
the most dangerous. Hell yes.
Harper was all for the
Well,
Maw.
there was also, we were short-timed.
Yeah,
And the
no.
barrister was like, what's the fastest path? Because that's the way we need to take. And Karen was like, okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
After both myself...
So you begin to
And
head
Alex
through the
said it was
pass, and what happens, Warren?
We were attacked by giants.
They were giants, yes.
And we were trying to cross a
might be.
bridge.
They might be giants.
Yeah, they were definitely giants. They were really big and naked. They started throwing big boulders at us, and
Almost killed someone's horse.
That's really good.
yeah, we there was quite the ruckus getting running them off, and then we did get away.
But we had to get across this giant frickin' bridge
Yes.
with our giant frickin' ship.
Mm-hmm.
And so Harper, with the help of Hung Brilly, right?
Hung Bigley.
Yeah, that person.
Hung bigly.
Hung Bigley.
Hrung. Not hung. Hrung.
Yeah. So
It's
with
a
a lot of help from her,
What was that hand signal?
we
They can't see
we
that.
actually made surprisingly good time across that bridge, with as difficult as it was. Thanks to some very timely critical successes. We were able to get across that bridge. I think people were able to get onto the Madeline. I think Harper was the only one that didn't, but he doesn't be on a horse. And
You're
he's
on a horse.
So then I'm also kind of guiding these oxen.
That's
as
right.
They basically are stampeding away.
Through a very narrow pass, which led into a chase scene that we didn't start yet.
Yeah.
And that will end our recap. So, for those of you who just kind of caught up on this, obviously spoilers. We'll be sure to note this here in the YouTube
Huge
video
spoilers.
too. But let us know what you think of the Meeting Owl. Naturally, the episodes 41 and 42 will use the Meeting Owl. We'll probably use it moving forward too, but we want to release this to people some number of weeks ahead, just to kind of get some feedback on seeing 7 people around a table talking all at once.
Yep.
So thanks, everybody, and be sure to tune into episode 41 and 42 of Queen of Embers. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
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 Sorry about the spoilers.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how this turns out.